Hey guys, this is Todd here from Great Escape Farms. Today we are going to harvest some sunchokes, or also known as Jerusalem Artichoke. And I put these in, actually I put one tuber in last year, and you can see it's spread all over and it's kind of come over here. Even Molly likes chewing on them a little. So they have a tendency to spread, and in order to prevent that as much as I can, I'm going to go ahead and harvest some tubers, go ahead and cook them up. They have a they look like a cana or a tuber, or kind of like a ginger root, if you will. And well, you'll see that when I harvest them in a minute. They have a lot of inulin in them, so they are not a typical starch like you would find in potatoes, so they don't spike your blood sugar. However, the inulin can cause some gastric pain and also some gas itself, so you have to be careful with those. So try just a little before you go at it too much. They can be sliced and eaten raw, put on salads and stuff like that. You can also boil them. If you boil them, they get kind of mushy. If you steam them, they keep a little better consistency. Let's see what else. These plants are in the sunflower family, and they will grow about 10 foot tall, and they'll have little small flowers on them, about as big as the hole in my index finger and thumb here. So the flowers aren't huge, but there'll be quite a few of them on the stalk, and they'll come up high, coming off in multiple different directions on the stalk. So let me go ahead and don my gloves, and I'll go ahead and dig some of these up. Okay, I did a little digging around here, and you can see some of these here. These aren't really tubers, these are just the stalks going down to the tuber. So I missed a few, and those will grow some new plants. So down in here I was digging, and this right here is what the tubers look like right there. Whoops. And here's another one right here. So what I need to do is dig in and pull these out, and obviously the dogs like eating the greenery off of it. I believe the greens are edible as well, but I need to double check on that. I know the tubers are here. So for right now, that's what they look like. Let me go ahead and harvest as many, not as many as I can get, but several of these here. Try to reduce the overgrowth here, and I'll show you what I have. I'm going to put them in a gallon bag here. Okay, so I have about 3/4 of a gallon bag here. You can see there's quite a few of them in there. Tops are here. Really, the pile isn't that big, considering that I got that much rootstock out of it, or that many rhizomes. And you look and see there's still a lot more in here to grab. So I'll be out next week. I'll grab some more. The one bad thing about this is the stuff doesn't store too well. I'll have to see if I can find a way to freeze it or do something else to store it and make it last. The best way to store it is to start harvesting after the first frost, when the tops die back, and basically harvest all winter long. So they are starting to grow up now, and as it does that, as it's starting to grow up, you can see this is an example right here. It's starting to use up the energy in the rhizome there. So these will eventually hollow out. And actually, if you ever want to kill these things, that's the way to do it, is wait until they're almost completely hollow and yank them up, and then there's no energy for them to continue on. And let's see, I pulled over, I thought I had a bigger one than this, but you can see this is smaller than my thumbnail right here, and this little bit, if I left in the ground, and I guarantee I left a lot of them in the ground, just one of them would grow this in one summer, and I would have this much growing in the following year. So once you get these things in, you're not going to get rid of them. All you can do is kind of keep them tame, keep them at bay. And like I say, the best thing to do as far as keeping them at bay is let them grow up and use the majority of their energy out of their roots, and then pull them up then and just leave a couple. And I don't think we're quite to that point yet, but actually I'm harvesting to eat right now, so we'll go ahead and try a couple recipes a little later on this week. Hey guys, I'm here in the kitchen, and I have a couple follow-up items for you. So I researched the greens, and it says that the greens are, you can eat them, but they're a little tough, a little grainy and everything. So it seems like it's okay as fodder for animals, but not something that we would regularly eat and put in a salad or anything. Same holds true for the flowers and the seeds of the flowers. I guess the seeds are very small. So the main crop here is going to be the root of Jerusalem artichoke.
And a couple different ways to prepare them. Lots of different recipes online. You can just Google them and check them out. Number of people say that they like them raw in salads, especially after a couple of frosts when they get a little bit sweeter. So the people that have them raw for the most part say just go ahead and take and clean them up. And what I used was I guess you call this a potato brush, but just underwater, kind of scrub it up real good, and then cut it into thin slices is one way, like that. And just cut it up and leave the skin on, and you can add it to salads. Another thing that I also saw online, which was kind of a neat idea, I think Green Dean in one of his wild edibles, was to take this, clean it up like this, and then run it through a grater, a cheese grater, and put that on a salad. So that's neat. I may give that a try as well. So I'll probably do another video on how to cook this up, different recipes and stuff, and go ahead and try those, show you what they look like. It can be used as a potato substitute. However, when you cook it, as I said earlier in the video, it does get a little mushy, so you have to be careful with that. As far as storage, that was a couple other things. Like I said, the best way to store it is in the ground and just eat it over winter. They can be frozen, however, they'll get a little mushy when they're frozen, and a number of people said that they're very good when they're pickled. So may have to give that a try. As a matter of fact, I have enough here and enough back out at the farm. I probably will do a little pickling there. So starting to experiment with pickling and just to see what happens. So who knows, maybe that'll be a video all in itself. One other thing is, they say these are kind of like apples and potatoes, is when you cut them like this, they will, I guess it's called oxidize, but they'll change color, they'll get kind of brown. And to prevent that from happening, you just kind of mix a little bit of orange juice and, I'm sorry, not orange juice, a little bit of lemon juice and water, and you just kind of dip it in, and that will stop the discoloration. So if you having guests over for a salad, or even yourself, you don't want to eat anything that's looking all brown. So just kind of a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of water, dip it in there, and then take it out. You can dry it off, and at that point it should maintain the white color here. So that's it for this post. Thank you for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day.